What's up, Alpha Strikers? Professor Erks here for the final, possibly final, video for the Mighty Thor Heroclix set review for the one you've been waiting for, the Super Rares and Chases. I have myself here, and I also have my guests.
Pedro Rocha here. Hello, everybody.
And Shay McClure here. Hello, everybody.
And quick preface, guys. We're going to just burn through these as fast as we can. There's going to be a lot of text, a lot of conversation. We're going to skip going over the dial mostly. We'll mention some values here and there, but you'll see everything on the screen. So here we go. First one, number 49, Thor Odinson, the title character. He has Asgardian, Avengers, Warrior, all appropriate keywords for this gentleman. Real name, Thor Odinson. He has a book attached to him. First up, we're going to go over title abilities a little bit. With this guy, they get plot points. He gets 3. You can only have 1 per force, and all of his black books are protected pulse wave. So keep that in mind. That means they can't be ignored by any way, shape, or form. First thing he has is +1. Bring the lightning. Free. When Thor Odinson targets and hits a single opposing character with a ranged attack this turn, after resolutions, once per turn, he may make a ranged attack targeting a different opposing character. This is insane. This is 2 ranged attacks. Owie. That's 4 damage, 12 attack, just going, gone. Then he has a -1 called Restore the Lost Asgardians. Free. Place adjacent another friendly character with the Asgardian keyword. If you do, heal both Thor and heal both Thor Odinson and that character 1 click. This is amazing, guys. Think big, okay? Think of every Asgardian you can think of. Let's call over Jane Foster, the best healer in the set. Let's call over Fandral to make some charge and flurry. Anything you can think of, guys. Tons of options with this. Don't discount it. And his ultimate, -8, God of Thunder, free. For the rest of the game, as long as Thor Odinson is on the map, when an opposing character would get an action token, let me make this clear, would get an action token from any means, their own, in cap, whatever. They get 2 instead. It just slows them all the way down. It's insane, guys. So that is Thor Odinson. I'm going to give Pedro and Shay some ground here, talk about him a little bit for me. Go ahead, guys.
So he's awesome. As you said, we have to burn through this. Awesome. Awesome for fun. Awesome for seal. Likely to show up some competitive value. 175 points is high, but he delivers. Possibly, and I've seen many people discuss this, possibly one of the best, if not the best, title character that we have in this generation yet released. We're still pending others, but so far, amazing. Everything's good. Hypersonic. The dial is strong all the way through. Even in the middle where he's a little bit slower, he's still hitting hard. Impressive. He can, bring someone that can make a call in after being brought by, because it doesn't restrict the actions from whoever is being called by his power. Amazing. Love him. Cool sculpture. Everything's good. 0 negatives there. Even his drawback is not that bad. So GG.
Oh, I didn't even read that. It's real quick. So everyone knows the first one. Just if you didn't deal an attack, but at the end of your turn, you deal 1 unavoidable damage. That's fine. The other one is when he is KO'd, friendly characters can't move or make attacks during your next turn. Basically, you just lose your next turn for the most part. That's fine. It's not that bad.
Yep.
Go on, Shay.
It's going to be in the front. Your team is going to be in the back, likely. So, odds are people have to waste a round to reach you anyway.
Yeah, I personally think that he's awesome. I've played him a couple of times, and I think he's got a lot of potential. The one thing I'd really like to see happen is exploiting that God of Thunder -8 plot point, because I think that could be a game changer, but it's going to take him about 5 turns to get to it. I think he's played best with Perplex. Because if you can perplex up that damage, he's at a 4. If I could see him with a red leader getting up to a 5 or a 6, then we're talking about dropping 2 6 bombs on somebody. And that's going to wipe out a lot of figures, as we know right now. I think he's pretty awesome. Now, I love his Asgardian ability to bring a person all the way across the map. I mean, I'm a big fan, and as you all know, Fandral. I think Fandral can fit really well with that guy. I think those two can just cause some mayhem on your back row pretty quickly.
All right. Moving on, guys. Next one
Okay.
is
It's Loki, the agent of Asgard. He's also a title character. He is Asgardian, Young Avengers, and Mystical. He's Loki Laufey's son. You already explained the mechanic in general, so I'm going to focus only on his particular powers. Again, if he uses his title character plot point, but doesn't attack, he's dealt a one unavoidable damage, just like any title character. His particular when he's KO'd is that friendly characters can't use defense powers until your next turn. This is a bit more of a dangerous one. But his three powers are to generate one plot point manipulated by King Loki. It's free. Until your next turn, opposing characters can't use perplex or probability control to target Loki, the agent of Asgard, or friendly characters within 3 squares of him. That's a really cool power. For the one that spends plot points actually is the one that spends 0, but honest, I'm undercover for the All-Mother. Free. At the beginning of your next turn, if it's underscored, but it's fun, it's not the beginning of your turn, but it's your next turn. If no opposing characters hit Loki, agent of Asgard, since you activated this, heal Loki, agent of Asgard, 2 clicks. So you will tell your opponent, listen, if you don't hit me now, I'm activating it in the next round. I'm getting 2 clicks healed. And his grand power is Gram, the Sword of Truth. Free, you spend 6 plot points, and adjacent opposing characters of 200 points or less can't use defense powers this turn. I think he's good. He's only 60 points, 7 clicks, heavy melee combatant. High defense, so have a chance of actually converting those 2 points, those plot points into healing because it's hard to hit. But he's meant to, stealth to get close to your opponent and then just stay there in close combat, trying to do as much damage as you can. It's going to be protected from perplex and prob. Very, very interesting character. His powers are actually good to protect his team. The 6.1 for 6 points, maybe a little bit stronger, but cool piece. What do you guys think?
I really like him. I mean, I think he's kind of a hidden value. You don't know it until you play him. He's a piece you have to play. I think if you're not going to try him out, then you're really not going to really understand what he can do. I think he looks on paper, he's like, well, it's a little weak maybe. But I'm telling you, he will land on those last couple of clicks, and that 11 attack with Blades, Claws, Fangs is nothing to sneeze at with 18 willpower. I mean, he will be a fun piece that has some utility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I see him definitely as an agent. Like, he's not trying to be aggressive as far as like I'm a primary attacker. He's 60 points of annoyance that you like creep up the field to one of the second string or either main string attackers and just say, here's my dude, 18 reflexes, stealth, deal with me. And then I'll go ahead and +1 and say you can't plex or prob me.
And he's the first of our title characters that has a -0 plot ability.
Yep.
And so, I mean, we've never seen that before. Up until then, either you're +1 or -1 or doing a big minus. He's only trying to gear towards that -6. He doesn't have to take away from it.
And that's his end goal. He'll just pump up to -6. Say, okay, guys, the defense gone. Your whole team goes ham on the dude and hopefully kills him. That's what he's trying to do. Very, very niche title character. All right. Next up.
Okay, I guess I got the next guy. What is big, is made of wood and carries a hammer? It's, of course, Groot Thor. The big twig himself. That's what I'm talking about right here. He is 175 points of interesting. That's all I got to say. He has 2 traits. One is I am Groot, plasticity. Opposing characters within 3 squares and line of fire treat Groot Thor as if he was adjacent for movement purposes. This includes stopping and breaking away. That's big. That is a big trait to have. And then he has the trait from an alternate Earth. Sideline active. Friendly characters named Groot or Thor that are equal or more points than this character have free. Replace this character with 051 Groot Thor on the same click number. So he is a shifting focus guy, it sounds like. He can come in and replace this guy. I'm not going to point it out. Yes, I will, because that's why I just said it. could he, and we'll talk about it here in a second, could he replace Thor Odinson?
Title characters can't be replaced. No,
Ah,
replace
darn.
nothing. But any
Darn.
other you could.
Okay, so anyway, so I was wrong on that, but I thought that was interesting. They're both 175. He does have a special power. It's called I Am Groot Quake, but deals 3 damage instead of 2. He has that on 5 of his clicks. And he has a stop click that has regeneration. It's on his defensive power. Stop, regeneration. If you look at him, he's giant size. He's a flyer, a twig, a flying twig. Yes, you heard it here. Speed value is not great. Attack value is awesome. Never dropping below a 10. Actually reaching a 12 out on click 7. Yes, you're getting a 12 attack on click 7. Damage never drops below a 3. He has shape change and battle fury back and forth. 2 stop clicks, 1 in the middle of his dial and 1 at the very end. He's 9 clicks deep, only 175 points. This guy can control a battlefield. Put him on the office and he can control corners because of that ability of plasticity to stop you.
Yep.
Walkers are going to hate this guy. I've already played against him. Chargers that love to walk up are just going to hate this guy. All right. What do y'all think?
It's 9 clicks. Never gets below 10. Starts with a 19 save change. It's a pity he's not indomitable, but it's fun. You might get a lot of usage with him on higher points team. I think that for 300 though, if you were in a meta where hypersonic was bigger, and other things like that, he's a great protection. It will force your Doc Ock team to make your carry be very close to him, because otherwise even Doc Ock on its own won't be able to reach him. It's a very cool power, but for 175, it's unfortunately going to be hard to see this guy being the tent pole of any particular team. It has good stats, but the tempo is a little bit complicated for him because he doesn't have any range, he doesn't have indomitable. But it's a very cool piece. It looks amazing. It's maybe on a monster team, you can put a lot of added shenanigans with it. It's a pity though that the only guy that has the name Thor that's 175 or more is Odinson. Because but likely there's more things to come from WizKids, and that's one thing they deserve the props for. They are paying a lot of attention to the old sets, so there's a lot of new things, as we mentioned, even in the videos that they connect. So you've seen the Serpent Society guys, they're not leaving the pieces behind.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see some good stuff that will come out of this sideline active. But for the moment, he's a great fun character, but super cool, but not a lot more than that.
So I want to mention one quick thing before we move on to the next one. So if you guys look at the stop clicks, they have stop regeneration. And if you guys know the ruling on regeneration on stop clicks, he only gets a max of +2 heals. So on both those clicks, guys, look at the screen there and see where he comes out. On the top one, it comes up to a 10, 18, 4 with Battle Fury. Not too bad with that cool Quake. But on the lesser one, he comes back up to that 6 charge, 12 attack, 4 with that Quake. So pretty awesome there. Now he can shrink down, which is kind of interesting, from the Colossal Groot at 200 points. So if you're playing Colossal Groot and for some reason want this guy instead, you have the option.
Exactly.
All right. Now I also like that he has shape change on his regeneration clicks.
Right, to help him give some protection, because those regen clicks have no other protection. So it's a little scary. Next up, we have, I think this is number 52, Hulk. Keywords are Asgardian, Shield, Armor, and Monster. Keynote, Shield keyword. This can be called in with the level 7 ID card. Guys, don't forget that. Real name, Bruce Banner. Trait, Powered by Rage. When Hulk takes damage from an attack, give him a number of rage tokens equal to damage taken -1. Modify Hulk's combat values except range by +X, where X is the number of rage tokens. At the end of your turn, remove all rage tokens. So I'm glad they kept that trait throughout all the Hulks in the set. That's really, really freaking awesome. And then his speed power, which he has for the first 4 clicks of his dial, is called Smash Through Frost Giants. Charge. When Hulk uses it, he can use improved movement, goes through characters, and goes through blocking and breaks it. And after resolutions, he may make a close attack targeting each opposing character that has a giant symbol or colossal symbol he moved through, regardless of adjacency, and then hit characters are dealt 3 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. Oh, it's a mouthful. All right. So basically, breaking this thing down, he can use normal charge to hit somebody on the 5 square run that he gets. To do so, if there was any giants or colossals in the way, but also if he takes, I think 3 damage, he'll get +2, so his speed is up by +2, so he gets more range. It's not like a +1 because he goes down 8, but options, guys, lots of options. The dial is amazing for 145 points, 3 range, indomitable, flight. This guy can carry a Hulk that can carry, but he has Battle Fury. Wait, Battle Fury can still carry, right? It just can't be carried.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost lost myself there. But just super strict the whole dial. Lots of reducers. Regen on the last click for it's a great spot to have that close combat expert. Overall, great figure. What do you guys think?
Yep. I'm still trying to. Well, I love every Hulk, and but I don't know what the 3 range is doing there. If your sideline is not completely full, and you're afraid that Mangog might be a thing and reach your starting line, get this guy under your card, and you're gonna have 2 attacks, one for 5 and one for 3 penetrating on Mangog. So it's cool. At 9, 12, 5, if you have someone to call him in, it's not ignoring shape change, and if you have a piece of objects lying around, he's also gonna hit for 6 or 7. It's not a bad call in. If it's not a bad call in, and it's a great piece. 145 for 9 clicks long. He has the powered by rage. The only thing that we see here, which is unlike the other Hulks, is that this one doesn't get stronger as he gets hit. This is more of a normal. I don't want to say normal, but let's say traditional clicks in which he gets kind of weakened and less aggressive as you shoot him down. So if you have to play to get the most out of him in the beginning, but it's probably going to be cool in Seal. 145 for everything he offers, especially the first 3 clicks that are super strong, are really cool. And if you're facing Colossals close by, again, it's only going to be a 5 range, range, but 5 swing because charge half his movement. But it's still really cool, and 3 penetrating is enough to bring any Colossal at the retaliation click level down. And again, and it's great against Mangog as a call-in. So it's at first I didn't think much of him, but the more I look into it, and the less click regeneration without stop, if you're lucky to land there, you can get 3 clicks back and become a still very decent hitting machine with 12-4 of any combination. So not too shabby.
And what's crazy about that page? I just looked at he's 9 clicks for 145. He actually beats Jakeem almost for his 140 for 8. It's really close.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's a monster. So if you get Dr. Jekyll and again, he can be part of all the monsters shenanigans that's going on.
Yeah, I kind of like him. I hadn't thought of it till you mentioned it, Eric. Him as a call-in is really an intriguing option, especially if you need a breaking wall call-in or a colossal kill call-in. I mean, his first click is really good. And I'd also like to push back. You're right. He doesn't get any stronger as he gets hurt, but he does the initial time he gets hurt.
Yep.
Because if you hit him hard, he will get that many rage tokens, which he could have a maximum of +3. Which would then make him even harder to kill in one turn, which is all you get with a call-in.
Right.
So I think he's almost impossible to kill as a call-in, which then makes his points golden. And at 145 points, he can deliver 7 clicks of damage to somebody and maybe some more to a colossal. And when I'm saying 7 clicks, he can pick up an object and hit somebody with it. So you're looking at a piece that can just do some mega damage on a call-in, which I think is important at times, especially it can go through walls. But that's my opinion on that.
Okie dokie. So next one, it's one hell of a girl. It's Hela, Asgardian deity, mystical ruler. It's 53A. Her real name is Hela. She has a trait that is release the souls of hell. When a non-bystander character is KO'd, heal Hela 1 click, and you may generate a warrior soul bystander normally in an adjacent square or in that character's square. She has a special power from clicks 3 to 6, which is a movement power which is mind control. And when she uses it, she has a range value of 9 and 2 bolts. And last, she has a special power on her last 3 clicks, which is the Asgardian Goddess of Death. Exploit weakness and shape change. When a character of 200 points or less would take damage from a close attack made by Hela that is a critical hit, instead immediately KO that character. Well, we already discussed the Warrior Souls. The Warrior Souls are a really decent POG, 8, 10, 17, 2, super senses and blades, can create a lot of hassle there. She has regeneration on the last 2 clicks, the attack never drops below 10, starts with prop. She's 150. It's hard to make her a main attacker, but boy does she hurt. She really, really hurts. She can get close to you with 18 invincible and Mystic's team ability. She's meant to hit. Give her Yarnbjorn, and quoting Jason first because it's fun to say it, and second because I don't know if there's a ruling on it, but you're gonna increase her critical hit range by a lot, and just start rolling critical hits and start one shooting everybody. So I like her. Not to mention that mind control with 10 perplex. She also has outwit and prob. I like her. She's super aggressive. It's earned the title of the goddess of death. Super, super, and her sculpt is just amazing, 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 amazing. What do you guys think? Do you like her aggression?
I
I
do.
I do.
Go ahead, Eric.
Okay. So I like how they tried to remake Mistress Death, but made her a little more balanced. She's got mystics that have power cosmic. They gave her the Indom. She can carry and has 6 range. She definitely wants to get in the fight. This is a character that wants to be aggressive. I can already tell instead of being a kind of support character because 11 pen size says I want to be in there. And the Invincible keeps her alive through a good hit, which can hopefully land you on those last few where her stats are no joke. Like she has regen. She can get her back up if you feel scared to lose her. But if you feel like, hey, we're based, I got 11, 12 on you, I'm going to start swinging and see what happens. Because if I crit hit,
You're
dead.
done.
I think she's fun, and I think in a venue like at your local gaming, you're gonna love running her because you want to land on that last click and just go around and start killing a bunch of stuff. I mean, that would be my goal at times is somehow get her to that last click. If you're running a Bizarro tournament, she's nasty. That's where you start at the bottom, and she has 8 clicks. Her last click is a 12 attack. That's crazy. I mean, I like her. I think she's a fun piece. And if you're a meta player and you see her across the table, you have to know her dial to kind of handle her.
All right, next one.
All right, so now I've got the next one, and this is Angela. Yes, it's our 053B. It's the Prime super rare. Her keywords are Asgardian, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's interesting. Deity, Ruler, and Warrior. Real name, Aldrich Odin's daughter. She has one trait. It's the new Queen of Hell. When Angela KOs the opposing character with the highest point value, for the rest of the game, she can use Exploit Weakness and the Mystic's team ability. Each additional time she does this, increases the damage she deals with the Mystic's team ability by 1 for the rest of the game. So you want her going after your the highest point figures one at a time and working her way down. She has a special attack ability, Conquer Hell to save Sarah. Angela can't have her combat values modified by higher point characters. Angela has protected outwit. And protected is capitalized, but outwit is not. And then she has the damage powers, cleaves through the hordes of the dead. When Angela KOs an opposing character, you may give her a closer range action as a free this turn. So you really want her killing stuff because she gets extra actions. She's 7 clicks at 125, and 125 is that golden point number where you can call in Nick Fury too. She has Indom. Her defense never gets below a 17. Her attack, what is up with these super rares that don't have attacks that ever drop below a 10? This is crazy. She starts with charge, so I think she looks really good. 6 range. You know what? She's an aggressive piece. You want her out in the battlefield just swiping at everything she can. So what do y'all think?
So I just want to preface real fast. I played a 500-point theme team game where I played Angela with Thor Odinson and a chase we'll talk about later, Odin. So she had 12 attack with a crowbar. I put a crowbar, enchanted crowbar on her. So she had exploit weakness and got rid of defenses. And, well, I would do this awesome thing where I'd just run up Thor Odinson 11 squares, whistle her over, drop her in front, and charge 6 squares with 12 attack, 4 damage, and just hit you. And then I wouldn't use exploit right away. I would use it for the second one if I killed you on something else. Oh, it was good. So, dude, she's amazing. If you can make her attack the highest point character right away and just be aggressive with her, they get scared because of how much damage you can possibly do. So, that's it.
I completely agree. She's super strong, super fun. Her last clicks are deadly. She's meant to hurt. I start thinking of she's so good. Any kind of equipment that you put her on her, she's great. Blood Axe, she might lose range, but she's going to be healing every time. She has protected outwit. Mjolnir for her 6 range regardless. So for a bigger, whatever.
Oh, Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike for days.
Thunderstrike for healing. And she can close attack and then Thunderstrike someone away from range if she kills a Pog, whatever. It's strong. It's strong. I don't think it's strong for Seal. I don't see her in the meta today, but just goes for the follow closely list. She might show up.
Keep your eyes on her.
Yeah, I think she's very effective against the JSA teams, the low point JSA teams.
Yeah,
where they have a bunch of figures about the same point value. Because what was the new ruling on determination of highest point value? No longer can you have tied figures anymore.
You pick the opponent's pick. Who's the
opponent's
highest?
pick. So can you imagine seeing like 4 50-point characters across the thing from you? You go, oh, this first one I'm attacking is now your highest point attacker. Boom.
Now the next one is and you have a 5 damage mystic team ability.
And what's really cool about her is she can actually take out Pog swarms, guys. That damage power, she can kill one Pog, kill another one, kill another one. It's amazing if you can get her in like a whole swarm of them.
Wow, that's crazy. All right. Wow, she should be a fun piece.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Next up, we have number 54, Zeus. He has cosmic, deity, ruler, all the appropriate things for Zeus. Real name is Zeus Panhellenios. I hope I said that right. All right. So he has 2 traits. First one is strip your immortality from you. Adjacent opposing characters can't use willpower. That's real strong. Adjacent opposing characters modify their combat values by -1 if they can use power, cosmic team ability, or have the deity keyword, because none are stronger than Zeus. That's awesome. Other trait is called walk amongst humanity unnoticed. Traded shape change. That's nice. When Zeus uses it and fails, he can't use it again this turn. Oh, okay. I thought he lost that for the entire game, so that's kind of cool. Just you only use it once and fail. It's not bad. He then has an attack power on his 250-point dial. He does have 8 range, 3 bolts, and power cosmic, just so you guys know. At 250, he's got 4 clicks of this with 12 attack. Energy explosion. When Zeus uses it, increase the damage dealt to each hit target by 2 if he had 1 original target, and by 1 if he had 2 original targets. So he basically ups the damage to, 4 if he had 1, and 3 if he had 2?
Yep.
Wow. That's pretty good. Okay, then. It's running shot, too. So he's shooting 12, 20 squares. So it's like a 6 plus 8, but still, yikes. Okay, and then on his last dial, his 150-point click on the second click going onward to a click 8 there, damage power called Send to Exile in Hades. Power action. Once per game, choose an opposing character of 200 points or less within range and line of fire, which is 8. You may place that character into your starting area. If you do, it can't move or make an attack until your next turn. Basically, you're condemning a dude to sit in your starting area and just take a beating.
Yep. So you're masterminding everything to your undying Joker? Sure.
Yep, seriously. Let me just pepper that guy off.
Go home. Go home. Bye. You're out. 5 minutes penalty box. Bye.
Penalty box.
Yeah, there you go.
So look at this guy, guys. He has nothing less than a 17 defense in the last 4, 5, 4, and 3 damage on the last click there. Pulse wave, everything you'd want in a Zeus. I don't have access to the con one from DC, but I think the Marvel one's a little bit better, almost. But yeah,
It's fun. Well, one thing I found really cool about him is that your opponent will see 12 running shot, 8 range, 3 bolts, this crazy energy explosion, 5 damage. I need to base this character quickly. Sure, base me. Lose willpower, and if you have power cosmic, lose. So it's bad either way. Whatever way you're facing him, it's bad. I think
Yep.
it's gonna be sealed gold. And the good thing is, if you don't pull anything else, just play him at 250, and if you do, the 150 option is super strong still. I think leadership is always great, especially at 150, because you might have other meaningful things that you might want to clear up. It's I like him a lot in sealed. For meta, maybe, especially if pog teams become more of a thing. A little
Yeah.
bit hard to put a tent pole there on 150. Interesting. Maybe you have a crazy team that you're gonna push him on purpose and try to knock the tent pole into your starting area where you have a host of people to deal with him. But I like him. It's super fun, and it's gonna be amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yeah, I like his exile power. Unfortunately, I mean, it works probably best on the 150 dial because you can get
Yeah.
to it quicker.
Mhm.
And he has that pulse wave at the end. He doesn't drop below that 10 attack value, as you can see. Defense is really good for the first half of his dial. So he's 10 clicks steep at 250. He'll be fun. I think he works really well. He might work really well in a high point, 500 point game where you can get more figures out there and that leadership might come into more play. Or at 150, like Pedro said. I like him. I've played him with him already at 150, and he was strong. I mean, he caused a lot of problems, especially once he landed on that exile power. That was fun. That's fun sending a Uni-Mind back to my starting area to get pummeled on.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Very well. Next one is Enchantress, Asgardian, Master of Evil, and Mystical. Her real name, Amora. She's the wielder of the Mirror of Misolith. Enchantress starts the game with the Mirror of Solace equipped. She has Mind Control as her special movement power in the first 3 clicks and the last, in which she can use Mind Control and Stealth. And for free, all opposing characters within 6 square, doesn't say line of fire, all opposing characters within 6 squares may each be moved 1 square in any order you choose. If I recall correctly, I guess it's not only you choose, but you choose where they're gonna move to.
Mhm.
And it's an interesting piece. 3 clicks of perplex and then 3 clicks of prob. She has poison in the end, combat reflexes and super senses. It's hard to see what she's gonna be. If she wants to be close to try to mind control, because she's gonna have stealth to allow her to get close, and then her mirror, which is crazy, which is a bit of a gamble, but it's crazy good for shape changing. Likely she wants to be close all the way because of combo reflexes and poison. She's 80 points. I mean, I'm sure someone a lot more skilled than I can make her work in some crazy ways. But for the moment, I think she requires a little bit of too much working to make something great, although the potential is right there. But she's a good piece. Perplex is always great. Prob is even better. Mind control with proper protection from the mirror is not to be laughed at, especially if she can perplex it to an 11. Interesting piece. Keep an eye on her, but for the moment, I'll reserve judgment on her being cool, but deserves a little bit more working.
But Pedro, you forgot the best part about this figure.
Tell me.
What does her mirror do?
Oh yes, I'll get it to you in a second. Okie dokie. Let me get her mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the meta of them all? Okay, mirror, where are you? Okay, the mirror of Misolith. This is a mirror that's a light object. It costs 7 points. And what it does in its effect is like all the others in the set, indestructible, equip any and unequipped drop. And its effect is shape change that succeeds on 3 to 6. But if you roll a 1 or 2 instead, then you KO the object.
Right. So for this package with that, you're getting, stealth, shape change, reflexes, and a perplex for 80 points that can also move pieces apart to say, oh, you have mastermind. Nope. Oh, you're in stealth. Nope. Bizarre Green Arrow. Nope. Just that whole thing where she can kind of get up in there, and she's Asgardian, so Thor Odinson can bring her over too. Say, hey, fix this for me. Now I'll go. That could be a thing too. There's a lot of things going on here with this chick, and people aren't seeing it yet. And I really want to get one because I don't have one yet. But I think she's really cool.
There's a lot of potential there for sure.
Oh yeah, I like her with that 7 range. She's also people aren't realize that 7 range with mind control. She can really disrupt the battlefield. She has the ability to disrupt the battlefield. I kind of like her at 80 points. You kind of look at you're gonna have to pay a price for her, but she can bring a lot. And that mirror is just crazy good. It's crazy good. If you don't roll a lot of 1s and 2s, nobody's going to hit her. I mean,
gosh. Sorry.
No, I mean, she's almost impossible to hit. And she's just like, and on her end of her dial, she ramps back up and she gets super senses with prob. I mean, so I like her. I think she's a disruptive piece. She's got to be put on the right team, but she will frustrate people at the local venue, and somebody's going to try to break her a little bit just because that mirror is so good and she brings it for free.
Yeah.
So I want to point out, I didn't realize this till just now. She has Masters of Evil keyword. You know who my favorite Masters of Evil is?
Executioner? I don't know.
No. But yeah, these two go together, by the way. They get +1 to their defenses on the same team.
Yeah.
But I think you can still, because they're 200 points for the pair, at 90 points, you can play Baron Zemo and give out every single one of them sidestep +1 to attack.
Oh.
Yeah. That could be fun.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
True. You can. 90 points. Yep.
Wow.
All right. Who's next?
I'm up. And let's see. I've got a new Hulk. It's Maestro. I call it Maestro. His keywords are all generic keywords: brute, future, monster, ruler. He's number 56. He's got a real name of Bruce Banner. He's got 11 clicks. How long has it been since we saw 11-click dial? It's been almost forever.
It's been a bit.
I mean, there he is. He's got 11 clicks. He's got improved movement, moving through hindering and moving through blocking. He has a trait called a trophy room full of toys. Colossal stamina, so right there, he can keep moving every turn. During force construction, you may include up to 3 equipment objects that each cost 10 points or less in your sideline. So choose your favorite weapon and put it on your sideline, 3 of them. And then when placing objects during game setup, you may place one of these objects in addition to your other placed objects. So I can place 3 objects down and one of these 2. And I get to choose each game. All right, that's his trait. He's got a special movement power that starts on his 2nd click and goes to his 5th. This place is already a wreck. What's a bit more destruction? He picks up charge, flurry, force blast. If a character Maestro knocks back is stopped by a square blocking terrain, destroy that terrain, then place that character in that square, and after resolutions, deal that character 1 penetrating damage. What? Deal him 1 penetrating damage. And then, for his first 4 clicks, has his special damage power, which I'll show you now it's done. He has leadership. When Maestro uses it and succeeds, you may also remove an action token from Maestro. Wow, he can remove it from himself. Yeah. So at 250 points, his leadership does not lose its value. He go, oh, I don't want a token anymore, and let my colossal stamina really start to build up. He gets very mean and nasty in the middle of his dial. We're on clicks 5, 6, and 7. Those are nasty. 19, 19, 19 defense, 11, 12, 11. He's got flurry up there. He's got his special attack ability. He's got 5 damage. I have not played with this because I did not pull this guy, but he looks like he could just go to town on some pieces. He would be fun to drop down in your local venue and just go to town. He has 3-point lines too, 250, 175, and 100. So you can maybe fit him on, especially since the trait allows him to bring the 3 equipment objects with him, even at 100 points. So I don't know. You can maybe get an extra piece of equipment you normally wouldn't on a team with him. What do y'all think? I
want him to be really good. I'm looking at the 175 point line, and just that click right there, the charge, flurry, 12 attack, super strength for 7 damage. I mean, you can't flurry with it, but still, 7 could be really strong. And then, we pushed you into a wall, so you take wall damage plus 1 more penetrating. That's, oh my gosh, he could just one-shot something with that amount of damage, guys. It's just, he's a close attacker. He needs TK, he needs flight. He can get in there on that first one. But I don't know. The 100 point seems tactical to pick objects for sure. Like, oh, your team has a lot of invincible. Good thing I have this crowbar I brought with me. Or, man, you have a lot of range pieces. Good thing I brought this Asgardian shield with me. Something like that. There's options. And he breaks walls, so no barrier. Screw your Green Lanterns.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's too aggressive, but unlike the Hulk chase from Avengers Defender Wars, you nail all the points right there. There's a small lack of mobility. You can outwit this guy and hit him hard. Although we're gonna better hit him twice because his first 5 to 6 clicks are still deadly. So and if you land him especially on click 5, then you're gonna regret it aggressively. But it's, or even on click 4. But like you said, it's for an experienced guy who knows the dial, he's less of a threat. But namely, if you're doing it for fun, or someone who's less aggressive at memorizing dials and nitpicking, this guy can be an avalanche. He's just gonna roll people over.
You know who actually fits with him on a theme?
Mm.
Al Jordan. They're both
Future?
rulers.
Or
No,
ruler?
They're both rulers.
Oh.
Mephisto too, right?
Yeah, Mephisto fits on him. Yeah, I like his keywords. That ruler and future. I don't know. He could. I mean, I was just thinking his points work out perfectly to drop a. He would get 3 free objects. You put Al Jordan with him, and then you put the teleporter with him.
Seems pretty strong. And
just have some fun with him.
One thing you could do with this guy, and the blood axe would be a great option for that, colossal stamina pushing healing, or Thunderstrike to give him the same kind of thing. Because he's gonna knock back as often as he possibly can.
Yeah. Wow. You could have fun abusing them at your local game store.
Yep.
Easily.
All right. My turn, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think I'm up to number 57, right?
That is correct.
All right. So we have Sersi, Avengers, Eternal Celebrity Deity. Real name, Sersi, spelled very differently. So she has 2 traits. The first one's, of course, Channel Cosmic Energy. Free until your next turn. Sersi can't use the Power Cosmic Team ability, but can use Perplex and Willpower. When she uses Perplex and targets herself, modify a combat value by +2 instead. So, go Eternals. And her other trait's called the Discipline of Transubstantiation. That's a big word. Barrier. Sersi may use it as free, but only to place 2 blocking terrain markers that do not have to be adjacent to each other, and must both be within 10 squares and line of fire. This is the most interesting version of barrier I have ever seen. She basically just puts 2 blocking terrains in your line of fire. So if you have like a stationary target, like Nick Fury, it's like, here you go, Nick. Have that. Sit right there. Look at that wall. You're in timeout. That seems kind of silly to me, but she can do it. Her attack power, or speed power, is called Still Playing from the Sidelines. Stealth, Mind Control. When Sersi uses Mind Control, she has 2 bolts and modifies attack by +1 if targeting a single character. It's like they tempt you. Do you want to hit for 2, or do you want to go for the 1 and get 12 attack on the top dial? Interesting. And on our last 2, she has the same defense power that the Eternals have: complete molecular control, regeneration, and toughness to keep coming back. So this figure is really, odd. I mean, I like Sersi as a character. She's really cool. No move and attack. She's just kind of move around, pick a spot, and be a turret, like I've talked about before with other characters. Does have TK and Flesh, which she can carry up first, and then perplex herself up for defense-wise, and make barriers as free. That's something you can always do, guys. She moves into a sidestep, precision strike attacker with some prob, and then down to this phasing and precision strike and that region with outwit. So they have more tactical options. I see here as a really expensive support piece. Help me
Yeah,
out here, guys.
the best support piece there ever were. Two barriers. It like you said, it's a pity she's 150 because well she can handle herself on a fight as well. Let's not be too mean.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's like the most and the best aggressive support you've ever made, but for 150 points. I like the trait for the barriers a lot.
Mhm.
Making two barriers that you doesn't have to be adjacent at 10 squares, just the only requirement being within line of fire. Like you said, you can nullify, nick. You can put them adjacent and just have a whole quadrant that diagonally you're ignoring. It's super interesting. Maybe we'll have some good placing sealed if you're able to pick some strong pieces. She can TK and then do some shenanigans. She can have a mind control on a single character for 14 because she can perplex her attack and then use the +1 for her
Right.
movement.
If you really want that mind control.
Yeah, if you really want to mind control someone, she'll probably get it. It's interesting. Requires a lot of finesse. She's super cool. Definitely an interesting character, but hard to build around because she's not a super damage dealer for 150. She's an amazing support, so it's kind of a lot of good things at once, but not something amazing on its own. I don't know if it sounds too crazy, but that's more or less how I see her.
No worries.
No, I agree. As an Eternal, that 150 point cost is a little hard to swallow, but man, like all Eternals, that channel cosmic energy is nasty. I mean, you have to go play it. That's just one nasty power they get. Her barrier is really cool. I would love to be able to figure out how you can play around on a map to put those where they're not touching either, but create the most problem for line of fire. Just putting them randomly in can really hinder some lines of fire. So she can control battlefield that way. I think what we're going to find out is she might be used more often with another figure coming up. And yeah, we'd have to find out with that. She might be used for that, but I mean, in sealed, you can't overlook her. That channel cosmic energy in this Thor sealed set is so strong. You can't pass over any Eternal if you're playing a sealed game. I would look at them 2 to 3 times. That's my personal opinion on it.
Yep.
All right. Next.
Okay. I hope you guys are ready to hear my voice for a long while.
Oh, here we go. Settle back.
Strap in.
Strap in. I'm gonna try to do this as painless as I can. So we're gonna start with the one and only Uni-Mind. Uni-Mind is eternal and cosmic. Real name is not applicable. He has improved. That's that movement and targeting.
No, just
Just
targeting.
Improves targeting. He ignores hindering terrain, and also he can shoot through. Uh, the character can make range attacks while adjacent to opposing characters. Okay, so he can ignore hindering terrain and can also shoot from adjacency. He's forged in the blue flame. During your force construction, you may include a number of different characters in your sideline that have the eternal keyword, adding 5 points Uni-Mind's point cost for each. He starts at 150, then you have the 275 and 370 points starting lines. If it starts at 150 points, you may include up to 3. If it starts at 275, then you can go up to 5. And if you start at 370, you may include any number of Eternals, limited only to your game's maximum amount of points. The included characters must be used at their highest point value and they must be turned to their starting click. So there's no linking of the dials. They're always going to remain in click number 1, and that's it. If Uni-Mind gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks, doesn't matter. They will always stay at their top click of their highest points beginning. So you cannot pick a second starting line if your Eternal has more than 1. At the beginning of each turn, and whenever Uni-Mind takes damage, you may choose one standard. This is very important because I've heard in a few places people saying, "Oh, I'm going to get a Jax and get a double prop." You can't. You can only get a standard power a chosen character can use, and Uni-Mind can use that power until it chooses again. So it's strange because it's at the beginning of each turn, but then it's until you choose again. So I'm guessing that if you forget it, you still at least can say, "Well, I have the one I last picked." Um,
Well, what you could do with that picture, you can pick an aggressive one for your turn and a defensive one on your opponent's turn.
yeah. When Uni-Mind would be KO'd, instead replace it with all the chosen characters on their last known KO clicks, which is good because of course, they're gonna be three, up to five, or a numerous amount of Eternals that your opponent can now do the punctuation for one hit, one damage. At the very least, you have one less shot before giving points to your opponent when he's KO'd. But when he's about to be KO'd, instead of KOing him, you get every single Eternal that's on your sidelines attached to him, and you place them within 4 squares of where he was supposed to die. And they can't be healed by the game, but they do have protected. It's this power, sorry, not they. This power has protected pulse wave, and therefore, from what I understood, you can't pulse wave those characters um, either. Is that correct, Erks?
Uh,
I think it's just his trait. Like if they were to kill him with pulse wave, this thing still goes off. That's what I think it does.
yeah, that's what
Yes.
I read it as. It's just going to protect his ability to spawn all those guys out.
Yeah. And it should also protect whatever is the power that he picks
Yeah.
from it, right?
That
So-
entire thing is basically protected pulse wave.
So if you have, you can still invincible a pulse wave if you picked invincible from Tina, for instance. If I recall correctly, she has it in the first click.
I think so.
Well, another trait of his is channel vast reserves of cosmic energy. It's free. Until your next turn, Uni-Mind can't use the Power Cosmic Team ability, but he can use Perplex and Willpower. This is very similar to the Channel Cosmic Energy, but it's improved because it's not only on himself. When he uses Perplex, it may modify a combat value by +2 or -2 instead. This turn, it may use Perplex an additional time for every 2 characters with the Eternal keyword in your sideline that you can choose powers from. So if you're playing at the 150 points and you have at least 2 Eternals, he's going to be able to do it twice. If you're playing at the 275 and you have at least 4 Eternals, he's going to do it 3 times. And if you're playing him at 370 and you have at least 6 Eternals, which will get you exactly to 400 points, then you can use it 4 times. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's range, movement, attack, and defense, or movement, attack, defense, and damage. So that's all. Every
That 10
almost
rage don't need no perplexes.
exactly, exactly. On to make if it was not enough, if you think we're done, he has um, one stop kicking 150, two at 275, and three at 370. The stop click gives him impervious and regeneration, which is crazy. Well, this guy already seen meta. He's cool. He's oddly enough, he's a little bit harder to play in sealed, although not impossible. Because on your own, if you're gonna get him, and if you're lucky to get a couple Eternals, great. And it's not impossible because you do have Eternals at the common range. But it's hard to build an effective Uni-Mind team on your own for seal. Maybe for the team seals, it's gonna be more flexible. Maybe you can put him out. But for meta, you're already seeing him. He's a great call-in ID, especially with the perplex not being limited to himself. He can double perplex for +2. Anyone that you call in with +2 to attack and damage is crazy, right? I mean, and if the guy is good, he becomes excellent, and if he's so, he's become great. So it's an amazing piece. Of course, the trade-off here is that he's not gonna have many clicks. It's 150 points, but you do get Power Cosmic to give him some protection. You can give him, if you're lucky enough to give him maybe a symbiote or another defensive equipment, you can give him an extra push. You can give him super senses from one of his Eternal, then he's going to have super senses, shape change, and invincible, which is
Mm.
very good defensively. So and he has a stop click, and you have all sort of shenanigans. It's not a once per game thing, so if you can heal him back, it's also going to be being stop click all the time. And if he does, he can still bring his Eternals that he put in his sideline, and they can call in powers from your teleporter on the next turn if your opponent's unable to kill them quick. So he's hard to deal with. And quoting many experts that play this a lot better than I, if you're not playing with it, at least plan to play against it. Because if you're going to a competition, you will eventually fight him and fight a Jakim. So expect to see him. What do you guys think?
So I think you ate all of our time on this figure. I'm just going to echo what you said. Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry it took so long. I really apologize, but
It's all that text. It's so good.
That's it. Oh, I love him. I just now noticed he had that stop click on his 275, so it's kind of nasty. All his stop clicks have that still energy on them.
Yep.
So no, he's really cool. I think the only thing that if you're going to run this guy, you worry about at 150 points, a Chase Green Arrow is not the guy you want to see across from you.
Yep.
Because I think he can.
It's very high.
Because I think he can kill you in one shot, can he?
No, because you can pick Impervious, and then Impervious should protect you a little bit. It's still nasty, and it's still gonna hurt him real quick. You're likely not want to open up with the Chase Green Arrow. You probably want to damage him first and get the Chase Green Arrow to finish the job, because the ruling on Chase Green Arrow is that you you counter defensive powers on the dial. So if you picked Invincible, you're still going to use Invincible against Green Arrow, and if you're expecting it, you're likely going to want to use Impervious, because at least you have a D6 chance to roll out of it. So yeah, for the first click, he can't be one shot, but if you plan to get him past his last click with the Green Arrow, then you're probably going to be a happy camper.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we ready to move on?
Yes.
Yep.
After that long one,
I'm gonna go rest, and I'll be right back.
You'll be all right. Okay, let's come to Fandral. Fandral, yes, number 59, the handsome of the Warriors 3, the handsome one. His real name is Fandral. His keywords are Asgardian, Warriors 3, and Warrior. He has a special trait that says Fandral starts the game with S007 Dueling Sword equipped. And let me just read Dueling Sword right quick. It's a light object. It's got a point value of 3. Its effect is when this character makes a close attack targeting an opposing character that isn't adjacent to any characters except the attacker, modify attack +2. So when he goes one-on-one, he gets +2 to his attack value. Now, he also has on his first 4 clicks a special movement ability, which is Warriors 3, Fandral leading the charge. That ability is Charge Flurry. When Fandral uses charge, each time he hits an opposing character, after resolutions, each friendly character with the Asgardian keyword adjacent to him at the start of the action may roll a d6. On a 5 to 6, remove an action token from that character. That is crazy. That is a supercharged leadership, because every time he hits, you get it. And if he's using Flurry, correct me if I'm wrong, he can do it after each hit on Flurry. Is that right? Is that the way y'all read it?
That's how I would read it.
So that's silly good. And that's why I say pairing him with Thor Odinson and his ability to take tokens off of Thor would be crazy. But he's got a great attack value. His defense is high. You want to get him in close. He has that charged flurry. He has that dueling sword to help everything out. The only thing you probably need for him is a perplex up his damage. His damage always stays around 3s and 2s. When it's 2s, it's got that Blaze Claw's Fangs, which can be good because he's going to be always close. He doesn't have any range. And his point value is 60 points. So I think he works well in a group that you kind of build around, that he can bring some Asgard. I think he needs to be on the Asgardian team just because of that special trait he has. What do y'all think?
So you're telling me that Thor Odinson can hypersonic super strength.
Yep.
And if the guy is alone, knock him hard, give him a token, plot for free. He will have attack, so he won't take the damage.
Mm-hmm.
You call him Fandral. Fandral charge, and you have 2 chances of rolling a 5 or 6 and remove the token from Thor.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if the 2 guys are together, you can actually hypersonic one of them to knock one of them back and have the guy alone for Fandral to attack him and get the special benefit of +2 from his dueling sword when charge flooring the guy.
Oh, yeah.
13 attack, yeah.
That's okay. It's normal. Standard. Balanced.
That's things you see all the time, yeah.
Yeah, easy. Nice combo.
Yeah, especially at only 235 points total.
Yeah, not bad.
Yep. Okay, Mr. Erks. Wait, what's that
What?
I see? Is it the last guy on the super rare column?
No.
Really? Is it Thunderball works?
It is. It's most certainly Thunderball.
What isn't he the last member that we're having on the set for the Wrecking Crew?
I think it is.
Wow, nice going with kids. All the Wrecking Crews closing every rarity on the set except for the chases, of course. GG. Tell us about him, Mr. Erks.
All right, so this is Thunderball. He has Masters of Evil, Wrecking Crew, Brute, and Scientist. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm gonna play some Wrecking Crew with my man Baron Zemo, just because I want that sidestep and plus to attack.
Oh my
it's,
god.
it's so many points, but it'd be so much fun.
It's gonna be, yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so he is the legendary wielder of the Enchanted Ball and Chain. Thunderball starts the game equipped with the Enchanted Ball and Chain. Pedro, what does that do?
The Enchanted Ball and Chain, it's an indestructible equip any unequipped drop object, which is a heavy object that costs 10 points and which its effect is Quake, but you deal the character's printed damage value instead of 2.
Oh, okay, I see. So I get quick, so it's knockback with single target, and I can deal my printed. Huh. And that's even to everyone in a whole group of people.
Now you can multi-printed damage value damage. Yep.
Wow. It's pretty awesome. So let's look at his trait and look at his stats before we move on to the object itself on its applications. He has live up to the name. Improved movement goes through hindering. When Thunderball occupies a debris marker, he can't be targeted by opposing characters 5 or more squares away. I love this for these guys. These are meant to be close combatants, and this protects them so well, and I'm so happy they did this for them. Next, he has, the old ball and chain. Giant Reach 3. Giant Reach 3, guys. When Thunderball hits one or more opposing characters after resolutions, modify those characters' combat values by -1 until your next turn. Now, there's obviously a reason they gave him 10 attacks and 9 attacks on his stats, because if he hits you with this, with his Quake at 3 Giant Reach, so if he's like in a crowd of dudes he can all see within 3 squares, it goes dunk, 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 dunk. Okay, there you go. Take that for 3, all of you guys. And then -1 to your values. Who's next behind me? Want to go take a hit at these guys? Okay, go. And then he has Outwit to help take out some of those nasty defense powers they may have picked up when you hit them. So I kind of like that they gave one of the crew Outwit and then some more Empower to help deal out more damage. He finishes up with some simple Force Blast, so he's just pushing stuff around. It's like big old bully. Good reducers the whole way down. Only 6 clicks for 100 points, but hey, Massive Evil keep on going. Not bad at all. The Thunderball itself, I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion on that item. Who's best to use with that?
Interesting. Interesting. I like anyone that has the leap, climb, and quake afterwards, because you can
Yeah,
just
of
get
course.
a huge range, get it right in the middle of everybody, and just deal printed damage. Or if you're, if you get the crazy like guy like Maestro and someone whose printed damage is really high already, just go there for the Alpha Strike. You know who should be crazy good at? It's because you have better options, but just for the sake of having some fun, the Chase Superman, right?
From Elseworlds.
Yep.
That full speed charge. Just
Yep.
here it come.
Get right in the middle of everybody and boom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Man,
I,
yeah, but
anyways.
Superman from Elseworlds is at 11 reach, 13.5 damage on everybody.
Yep. That's really aggressive. That just
yeah.
mm.
Yeah, I like that. I like that Enchanted Ball and Chain. If it's equipped to anybody with charge, because it gives you Quake, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I believe it gives you
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, it give you Quake. So if you got charge, anybody with charge and a high damage value, that thing could get pretty strong at breaking up some formations and really hurting people. So
I mean, I've heard talks of putting it on the starter Hulk at 50 points.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
nice.
because
Yeah.
he already has Quake, but the printed was he have 4 damage on that one?
Yes, 4. It's 4 and a 12 attack. So it's just
Yeesh.
crazy.
And if you get him to sidestep, he can do it again.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Boom. Again. Oh wow.
All right.
Okay,
Okay, guys. So
this guy, these guys that are bankrupting family guys, and destroying the economy of Heroclix. It's no one other than Thor himself, the Asgardian deity warrior, Thor Odinson. He's the one and only wielder of Mjolnir. And he starts the game with, for those who are friends and close friends, Mew Mew. He starts the game with Mew Mew. He has a trait, the mighty son of Asgard.
wait,
Super strength.
wait, freeze. What does Mew Mew do?
Okay, I was thinking we're saving the best for last. Okay, so this very humble piece of equipment, which costs 10 points and is a heavy object, indestructible, equip any and drop, has and for all, it doesn't say that, it's just a joke, but it should say can only be picked by the worthy, so it cannot be equipped on any character. But anyways, anyone can before standard size. It effects is when a character equipped with Mjolnir makes a close attack that targets a single character, the target may be within range and line of fire, regardless of adjacency. And if such character is actually adjacent, then the attacker gets +1 attack and 1 damage when he's attacking a single adjacent character.
Oh wow. So how does it help this figure then? Read his trait.
Okie dokie, let's go. Mighty son of Asgard, super strength. Thor may hold 2 objects and may pick up and or put down an object twice total during a move. When Thor is given a close object action, he may use either or both held objects attack. So charge for 11. I mean, you have it for 5, and
For
you still have
6.
this for 6. Sorry, you have it for 6, and you still have a 6 range attack that you can actually do close and actually bring your damage up to 7 if you have a light and a heavy object. Is that correct?
And you can do it with the Mjolnir. You can throw the Mjolnir with with those 2 objects on it. So yeah.
Nice. And if you have, or you can have Mr. Nobody and then Thor just start picking up the pieces. Well, you guys, if you're gonna play the crazy 600 tournament for that's gonna happen in the Rock, think of these guys to pick up all the extra objects you're gonna be making points over. He can pick 2 at a time. No.
Yep.
Hopefully this will help. And he's 160 points though, 7 clicks only, for 160 points. He has a special defense power on the first 3 clicks, which is anti-curse healing armor. He's invincible, and when Thor takes damage from an attack that was not a critical hit after resolutions, heal him 1 click. It's a cool. Mjolnir is Mjolnir, respective. I think if his trait is crazy. I think he's a strong character. It's gonna be crazy in sealed. But all in all, and I hope I don't get bashed for it or too much hate, so please be easy on me. For 160 points, it's not revolutionizing dial and too threatening. It's a strong piece. You cannot play around him, but it's okay. It's okay. It's super cool. It's the coolest, but it's okay. I mean, it's not Uni-Mind level of craziness, but it's a quite decent. I like the one Mr. Shia is gonna describe a lot more, standing on its own, for instance. But it's it's Thor. It's Thor.
Basically, with this Thor, just it's okay, Pedro. He is okay. Everyone knows he's all right. The thing he will do the most that will shock you at least once or twice in a game is if he picks up some objects, he's going to hit you really hard with his hammer. It's true to the character. He is throwing that hammer, and its weight is endless. It's just going to hurt really, really bad.
Yeah, I think really Pedro hit it on the head. The figure itself is cool in the fact that it brings Mew Mew for free, and it's a pretty strong click. But I think the equipment he brings is what everybody's salivating over. All these shenanigans begin with Mew Mew, and not this Thor. It's his equipment. And you know me, I'd love to put that equipment on Bebop and Rocksteady. I just think that's just nasty. I mean, they can sit there and shoot through people. They can shoot somebody and then turn around if that guy's within 6, which is their range, and still in line of fire. They can sit there and smack them with Mew Mew as their close attack for free.
Yep.
And so I think that'd be fun to try and pull off, and they might actually work it. But this figure itself, he's strong. I've played against him. If you're not dealing out major damage, that armor can be kind of hard to get through. Because, I mean, if you hit him for 4, he's healing back up 1. You have to hit him for a minimum 4 to start getting through him. If you're hitting him for 3, he's just laughing at you.
Yep. He needs a big hit. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
That or Pulse Wave, that or Outwit. Yeah, if he had Power Cosmic, he would have just been so baller.
Yep. Or at least a protected Outwit to make your opponent work that Pulse Wave in. At least, make him sweat it.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to know, don't you find 160 an odd point value? I've just not seen it around in a long time. I mean, we were talking about 175, 150, 140, 145. 160 is not seen a lot. I just found it looks a little odd.
It is interesting that they're still keeping the point values low. There is only a few figures in the set that are over 200, and it's because they are worth that with the values they have and the powers they have. But I honestly think 160 will be the new high, hopefully, going forward.
Quick trivia question, Erks. How many characters in Modern Age has exactly 160 points?
Wow, that's a good one.
Oh, come on. Middle of a show?
Middle of the show, baby.
You're not expected to know that. This is a tricky one.
Exactly 160.
This point. Yeah, exactly 160.
I want to say 2.
Oh, no. A little bit more. A bit more.
4.
8.
Really?
Supergirl, Geoforce, Superman. Supergirl Prime from Superman, Wonder Woman, Geoforce, which you played, the crazy, the people made so fun of, pure guy. Then the Zod Superman, the rare Zod Superman.
Yep.
Then Sentry from the Civil War story, OP storyline. Yep. Then Shikla from the Deadpool and X-Force.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
The Hook Show from the Avenger Defenders War. Thor, of course, and Krang Subprime.
Oh, yeah, Craig Supreme.
So you're right, Shia. Out of all the pieces, 8 that has 160 points.
That's interesting. That's kind of crazy. All right, next one. Now we're talking about Thunderstrike. Yes, another guy who's wielded the hammer. Asgardian Avengers. His real name's Eric Masterson. And for you all that were listening to our earlier one, this is one of the figures Eric Masterson can turn into if you hit the criteria for it. Now, this one has the Avengers team ability. He is number 62. He's a chase. He's got a trait of Wielder of Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike starts the game with S010 Thunderstrike equipped. And Pedro, do you have that equipment for us?
Yes, another lovely piece, another super cool equipment. Mr. Thunderstrike, it is here. Indestructible, equip any, unequip drop, a heavy object, cost 10 points, and the effect is Force Blast and also Leap Climb. And when this character knocks back an opposing character at least 1 square after resolutions, heal this character 1 click.
Okay, and on top of all that, he has a trait that says sacrifice Thunderstrike to destroy the Blood Axe. When Thunderstrike is KO'd, you may choose an equipment object that started the game on your force and one that started the game on an opponent's force. If you do, remove both objects from the game, even if they are equipped. So if Thunderstrike is KO'd, you can choose 2 equipments, and I assume you can choose Thunderstrike, that he's just getting ready to lose because he's KO'd, and just take out somebody else's equipment. Take out a Mew Mew if you want. Yeah. He also has a special damage power for his first 3 clicks. The world still needs heroes. He has Empower and Enhancement, which we always love. Great guy to stand beside somebody. Each time a friendly character attacks while having their damage value modified by one of these powers, Modifies Thunderstrike attack +1 this turn. So he's a guy you want to wait to attack with. He's not a first strike. He's a second strike guy. He has awesome starting values. He has flight, and he starts with 19 impervious with Indom, and he has a 4 damage with that special damage power. Oh no, he's a strong piece. He's great to have with Eric Masterson because he has 7 clicks, so you might roll into him with the Eric Masterson trait. And Thunderstrike is an amazing weapon. I did find it funny. He's got flight, and the weapon gives him leap climb. I assume it's there for ability to add to his breakaway ability.
Yes.
Or maybe to get him to attack different elevation characters, maybe.
True, maybe.
With close attacks instead of shooting him.
Well, 115 points though.
Yeah, that's an odd point value right there. 115. Right below the call in for Nick Fury.
Yep.
Right.
But 45 less than Thor, right? So I mean, you can put a Jane Foster there plus 15 points of whatever, and they're gonna have both 7 clicks. His mobility is a little bit less than the Thor we just saw, but he has the Avengers team ability, which gives him a whopping +1 when moving. So I like him for 115. He plays well everywhere. It's a pity his range is only 5. What do you think, Kirk? It's a pretty decent piece for 115, right? For a secondary attack, he's almost a great first attacker, but too good of a secondary attacker, right?
Yeah, I've ever since I was figure spoil the first chase spoil, I kind of really wanted him. Not just for the equipment itself, but that dial is solid for 115, and he's an Avenger, so I love making Avenger teams, and he carries effectively because the team ability as well. That's why I think he's good for a secondary attacker. The Indom gets him a secondary attack. He carries up somebody else to either shoot or punch, and the next turn he follows up with a 12 attack 4 damage. So with that knockback, pushing people if they're close or whatever, and the 5 range isn't bad either. He's a solid team player. That's really all I could say about him. I think he's a good figure. Hopefully he's play. I don't think he'll see meta play, unfortunately, even though the ability for him to die and kill an object, nobody in the meta scene likes to have a figure die to get an effect. That's just how it is.
Well, I will push back in saying that I think you will see him in meta, but he's going to be teamed with Eric Masterson. I think Eric Masterson has a ability to get in the meta with his 15 points.
Right.
And I mean, this is probably the guy you want on the sideline that Eric Masterson can turn into.
But remember, Shay, he won't get his weapon on the sideline.
Okay, true, but I think you have better chance of Eric Masterson turning into this guy than you did the other one.
Uncommon Thor. I totally agree. And then even that, but here's the thing, you still score 115 points if you switch to this and he dies.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's true. It's always a risk, and it's always your choice. But I mean, I don't know. It might be worth it. You never know when Eric Masterson dies what you might get, how it might kind of work
Depends
out.
on the game. Say always and forever. All right, let's talk about the next biggest money chunk of stuff, plastic in this set here.
Oh, wow.
Number 63, Beta Ray Bill. Character designed for Heroclix by Patrick Yapoko, the 2016 World Champion. I am happy to tell you guys I have spoken to this individual personally. He is super cool. Awesome guy. I'm sure everyone knows him. Big name in the Clicks.
Shout outs to him.
Shout out, baby.
It's because of him that Utah has a competitive scene. He helped me make one go. So thank you, Patrick. Okay, real name, Beta Ray Bill. Cool keywords: Annihilators, Asgardian, Omega Flight, Cosmic Robot. Hey, more robots. And Warrior. So Robot, Golden Age. Joystick. Who does that again? Justin Seifert? This could be a thing.
Aren't you glad he's gone?
Yes, he would get deadly with Justin Seifert. That'd be stupid. Hey,
all right.
Isn't that available in Golden Age tournaments?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All right. He is the wielder of Stormbreaker. Beta Ray Bill starts game with Stormbreaker equipped. What does it do?
Okay, the Stormbreaker. Well, heavy object, 10 points, follow the same rules as any other. He gives energy explosion and quake and modify your range by +2.
Right on. So this guy already has 4 range, so it pumps up to a 6 range. And look at his power set. He doesn't have those powers already, so it just adds more to his arsenal. So he has another trait called Corbinite DNA. Beta Ray Bill can reduce penetrating damage. And if you look at his dial, just about every click has a reducer on it. So he's not getting poisoned. He's not getting penside, no exploits. Even colossal retaliators that deal penetrating damage have a hard time touching this guy. He has a defense power on the last click of his dial, 8 clicks, called Aided by Scuttlebutt. Stop. Regeneration Toughness. When Beta Ray Bill is given a move action after resolution, so you can use regeneration at no cost. This is the one thing I've always wanted on a figure my entire life while playing Heroclix. A way to run away and lick my wounds. Now, it is a stop regen, so he gets a maximum of +2 heals. But if you look at that on the screen there, he lands right back on his special damage power, which I'll get to right now. Weather Manipulation. Probability Control. Opposing characters can't target Beta Ray Bill or friendly characters adjacent to him unless they began their turn within 4 squares of their target and are making a close attack. So this gives you a shroud of weather around him where you can't see him outside of 4 squares. This is crazy, you guys. You put this guy in like a boxing ring or behind a invisible plane against all your guys. This is insane. Him and Nick Fury are almost best friends if they weren't so many points together. But, I digress. The dial is solid. 225 is a little high-ended. Does have Indom Flight, but running shot 12 attack with that prop control. Energy Explosion, Precision Strike, Quake. He has options. The lower dial, I think, is a little more interesting, is Charge, 11 attack, 18 impervious, toughness with that power. Prop control is super strong and not something you see on an attacker like this. So I like it a lot. There's lots of potential here, guys. What do you think?
Oh, it's designed by Patrick, so it carries the seal of goodness, right? You can read at the back of the card, and you can see the seal of goodness right on top of the dial. I like him. I think people are gonna find clever ways to use it. I think in limited, he's gonna be a major threat. There was a recent ruling for WizKids saying that if you actually get a character to be called in by an ID, and the character is within the proper range, because by close he can be attacked regardless, but if it's still within range, that character would be considered as starting their character turn within range and able to attack, so that diminishes a little bit the potency of the weather manipulation trait, but it's still an amazing character. You can pair him with Jane Foster to have a battery healer that's going to be super effective, especially when he needs the most, which is when he has someone basing him. But you can also, if you're a little bit more old school, you can also pair him with a 30 points Toy Master, which is going to give him +1 attack and +1 defense because he has the robot keyword. So it's a cute pair. You can carry the guy around. He can also support with a +1 to the D6. So it's a cute, non-expensive combination right there.
Right, for sure.
But it's amazing. It's super amazing, and it's all well round. It's perfect design. It's not too OP, but it's still very strong, and it's a dear beloved character of most. So and the sculpt is so cool looking.
No, yeah, I think Patrick did a great job in designing this character, and I think that's why he's going so high. I mean, trust me, I'll shelled out some to try and get this figure here. He will bring some, as you said, some little manipulation tricks to the meta scene. And I love what Patrick did in his middle clicks when he picks up Impervious. Now that Impervious is actually reducing penetrating damage based on that trait. So now you have a chance to roll out of some stuff. So that's going to be interesting. I love him. I just sitting here looking at him. 225 versus 125. You know what? Now I want to. I've got him in the mail. I want to pair him with Thor Odinson.
That's a full 300-point team. I mean, in a bigger point game, you can add some more, but those two together is a good little team.
I mean, yeah, if you think they're going to have map control and then run Thor out, shoot 2 people, pull Beta Ray Bill up there. He can shoot somebody within 6, and then you have to start within 4 to either hit either one of those guys.
Well, I mean, you attack one if you can't activate both title abilities, but
Yeah, it's one and him or just two,
Oh,
and
that's
then
right.
next round.
That's true, but still, you.
Oh, they are 300. They're
Yeah,
both 300 even.
yeah. It's interesting at 225. I don't know. I never even considered running them at 225, but maybe. I mean, that little trick with Toy Master. How much is Toy Master?
30 points.
So that's only 255. Yeah. That's crazy.
And then you play Justin Seifert so he can go crazy and come back. It's a big thing.
Hey, it's another fun day in the neighborhood. That's what I say.
It's a great day to be someone's neighbor. Not.
Okay, it's him, Malekith. Just Garden. Now they're kidding with me. It's Vartafheim, and I apologize sincerely for the butchering.
Svartalheim.
It's Vartalheim. Mystical, real name Malekith. Trait: the wielder of the Casket of Ancient Winters. Malekith start the game with the Casket of Ancient Winters equipped, and the Casket of Ancient Winters, it's a special object that costs 12 points. It's a light object. 12 points is actually the highest one we've seen so far, if I recall correctly. Indestructible, any unequipped drop. Effect: power. If this character is 100 points or more, give it 3 Fimbulwinter tokens. At the end of each player's turn, remove a Fimbulwinter token from the equipped character. If you do, give an action token to each of the active player's characters within 7 squares without the Asgardian, Cosmic, or Deity keywords. If you remove the last Fimbulwinter token, KO this object instead. So it not only activates on each player's turn, not only yours, but each player's turns, but when it, in yours it activates, then your opponent's, and before it goes bust, you can give another power action to at least renew it again. So it's crazy. Although in the seal format, you're gonna see a lot of Asgardian, Cosmic, and Deity keywords. Generally, it's very hard to say that every team will have everybody with this keyword. So it's potentially a very crazy good equipment. But let's see this guy in its all might. He has 2 starting lines, one at 175 and one at 100. He has another trait called Vulnerable to Iron, but not much else. Malekith takes a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks, and he has a special attack power that only shows up in his 175 points version, which is Gather Support from My People. Incapacitate. When an opposing character within range and line of fire is given an action token by an effect of a character, not equipment, meaning anything in this particular case other than the casket, for instance, on your force, after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 4 to 6, you generate a Dark Elf bystander adjacent to it. The bystander you'll be seeing on the screen, he has Leap Climb for 8, Blaze Claws Fangs for 9, Super Senses for 17, and a damage of 2, and is not indomitable. It's a very cool looking Pog illustration, and he has a damage power on his first click on 175, then on his first 2 and last of the 100 starting line, which is Change Other's Shape. He can use Shape Change, but succeeds on a 4 to 6. Other friendly characters can use Shape Change, but succeed only on a 6. So he gives the Scroll Team ability to everybody on your team with this special damage power. What do you guys think? Not too bad, huh?
No, not bad at all. I actually have one of these guys, and I've been really thinking about that casket ability where he could just because at 100 points you can use it. You can sidestep up and creep up with that 7 range and start making tokens. And if I can keep him leadership somehow with, I don't know, Asgardian leadership, there's a couple out there. Balder is one I could think of. But just keep popping tokens. He can net 1 every single other turn, and then he'll get into your area and just start saying, "Okay, tokens, tokens, tokens," and this triggers off anything. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he looks interesting. One thing I've stayed away from. I don't own one. That's the first reason why I've stayed away from that casket of Ancient Winters. I just have a hard time getting my head around it. It sounds cool, but in the sealed, like you said, you have so many Asgardians out there. It's kind of it'd have trouble going off. I kind of
Yeah.
like it just be. I like his ability to generate those dark elves, so that's pretty cool, and the ability to give shape change to anybody on your team. So at 100 points, he could, and he has a mystical keyword. Could you see him teamed with Jakeem?
No, because if you use the casket, Jakeem doesn't have the right keywords to not get tokens from it.
It's true. Yeah, that'd be the only problem with that. But I was wondering about giving Jakeem shape change. But anyway, he's something you can play around with. I think he's a little subtlety piece. And that second click's just interesting to me. His second click with that 19 defense toughness with prob, that's just interesting. It's like, wow, that's an interesting pop right there.
And his whole dial is like definitely cornered around being away from people. That trait where he takes only 1 damage from ranged attacks is ridiculous. Because if you look at his power state, he had sidestep 7 range, so he's supposed to just kind of keep within 7 and stay back. And then if you go to click 2s and 3s, it's force blast, so he pushes you away. And then later, more sidestep and phasing to run away. He's not a close combat attacker in any sense. He's shooting you, and giving you tokens if you have the wrong keywords. It's a cool figure for sure. But
all right. So moving on. All right, and this comes to the one piece I really wanted to pull in my case, and I did. No, I didn't. No, let me take that back. I didn't pull it. I wanted to pull it, and I was very disappointed. But this is the Unworthy Thor at 065. He's got Asgardian Warrior as his keywords. His real name is Thor Odinson. We've heard that before. There's a lot of Thor Odinsons out there.
Yeah.
Alternate universe Thors, I guess. Okay, he has a trait. It is Wielder of Yarnborn. Unworthy Thor starts the game with S013 Yarnborn equipped. And Pedro, why don't you give us what Yarnborn does?
Yep. Yarnborn already. First, it does give us pleasure in saying its name, but on top of that, it's indestructible, equip any and drop heavy object for 10 points, and this character attacks rolls of 9 to 11 also counts as critical hits.
That hit.
Actually hit. You need to hit, of course, yeah. If you roll a 9 and you have an 11 attack and you're going for someone with 21, you miss the attack, it's not a critical hit, but you have to hit, but then it counts as a crit.
For the extra damage.
Yeah,
for the extra damage.
Nice. And he has another trick called Unbroken. He has invulnerability, which if you just look at his dial, he has pretty much naked. Last half is combat reflexes, but he's pretty naked on the front. But this trait actually gives him a traded reducer. He has a movement ability that is fighting to survive. It's charge sidestep. And he gets that for his first 3. He also has a damage ability he gets for his first 3, which is Hammer of a Dead Realities Thor. It has improved movement hindering and improved targeting hindering. Unworthy Thor's range value is 7. Now, he does not have flight. He does have Indom. He's listed at 125 points, which puts him in at the Shield Level 7 call-in ID. I can call in all my Shield Level 7 guys. And of course, Nick Fury. And he seems to be a pretty cool piece. He's transitioned from at the beginning being maybe a range piece into an attack piece, close combat piece. He has Battle Fury at his end. I found him interesting. I wanted him mainly for his weapon, which I wanted to equip to Hela so she can sit there and hit that last one and just sit there and just hammer people and kill them. And we've talked about that before. But I thought he was pretty interesting. I played him a couple of times. You have to build a team around him. But he's a solid attacker. He's not going to take up too much of your force on a 300. What do y'all think?
I think he's solid. He's fine. I didn't play him as an attacker. I love that he sees through hindering on the first 3 clicks. That's super great. So he's a stealth buster. He wants to get in the fight. Sidestep charge gives him a, let's see here, 4, 5, 6 speed charge. Not too terrible. 4 damage to scoff at. If he does hit that 9 that hits you, 5 damage is really strong. 11 attack is good. Just more of that good stuff. The Battle Fury is great. No more shape change for you. But at that point, he's committed to the fight and just going to go until he goes down. I like him.
Yep. The stealth busting is stealth busting for 7 range with sidestep, 11 for being able to crit. It's not that bad. Of course, he's not made to be a range attacker, but he kind of holds his own in the beginning. But he's really trying to aggressively close the gap. Definitely have some spots for him in seal. This meta is gonna be a little bit harder, but it's like Erks nailed it. It's solid. Not super powerful, not underpowered. Solid.
Now, one thing I want to mention as well, guys, the fact that he has the invulnerability traded, yes, it can be outwit.
Yep.
But he's not susceptible to the green arrow call-in. If he
Yes.
shoots him, he can still reduce the damage because it's not as damage as his defense slot. So that's
Yep.
something to think about too.
Exactly.
All right, up to me, I guess, huh?
Oh yeah, you're
okay.
up.
We got number 66, Loki. Loki has the Asgardian, Dark Avengers, Deity, Mystical, and Warrior keywords. Real name, Loki Laufeyson. Wielder of Loki's staff. Pedro?
Wielder of Loki's staff. Loki's staff, it's a light object for 12 points as well. That has mind control and shape change.
Not too bad. So,
Not
guys,
too
keep
bad.
those powers in mind as you look at her dial for 80 points. Very interesting. Now, I was really hoping I wouldn't get stuck to review this figure because I've tried in my own time to work out this craziness that is Loki. Dang it. And so, here we go. First things first, assume Wanda's form. On the first 5 clicks of her 6-click dial. By the way, I think it's still he. I think this is Loki just taking the form of Wanda and or Sif, according to the powers here. Anyways, power. Turn Loki to click number 9. If you do, when she would be KO'd, turn her to click 6 instead, and she can't be healed this game. So I'm thinking, with this just going at it, you want to put her on her click 9 when she would be about to be KO'd on her first set of clicks 1 through 6. Once she's on 4 or 5, you may want to consider doing this to help save her from a kill. Because her last click on click 6 there is pretty awesome with a 9 speed, with sidestep, 12 attack, 18 impervious, with 3 damage, with the damage power called I Don't Lie, Just Share Uncomfortable Truths, which is perplex and prob. So you up her defense, you can up her damage, you give her prob for protection. It's really great. On her first 2 clicks, she also has the defense power called Sif's Form Stolen, which gives her reflexes and toughness, which I love with stealth because that's a stealth person's objective, is to move around the board, causing mischief, and then being close to somebody and being hard to hit. Rest of it else pretty generic. She's got reducers, and then in the end, invuln and impervious with prob. And then her last 2 clicks, or her last 3 clicks on the weird dial she has where it's like 9, 10, 11. No speed powers. Mystics, though. Keep my Mystics. Every time you hit her, you're going to pay for it. With the barrier and perplex and prob. Hit or miss. Very weird dial. I'm not sure if I'm ever a player. I like the staff, though. Just handing out mind control or shape change, that's good enough for me. Guys, thoughts?
I like her. And with any of the right hands, she can be devastating. It's gonna make, and I think this is one of the craziest materializations of Loki shenanigans. Because, for instance, if Thor Odinson brings her through his power, your opponent's gonna go, okay, should I try to kill her? It's 2 attack, but it's only 3 damage. But wait, 3 damage is not much. But if she minds control me, then that's a problem. Should I attack her? It's a lot of attacks. Maybe not. Oh, but it's great because that's exactly what Loki does. It's gonna get your opponent saying, "Man, what do I do? Can I one shot her? Maybe. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try one shot. No, it's 6 clicks, and I have to go through to the combat reflex. Okay, yeah. Okay, but should I want to call an ID card just to kill her and have the guy exposed here with his main attacker there? If I don't, do I waste 2 attacks to kill her? If I just hurt her, then he's gonna go to a click that I'm gonna have now to kill her twice. Oh man, it's I love the amount of decisions your opponent will have to make when facing him or her.
And you know her shape change is also a thought too. It's like, oh crap.
Yeah,
I missed
it all missed.
Oh yeah. With now, and I see her as a Mind controller first 2 clicks, because with the staff, that's really what she'll probably be doing. And then the whole dial is designed to get her to that last click, or him, whatever you want to call it, is to ensure that you will hit that last click. That is perplex, probability control, 12 attack, 18 defense with it, impervious, and that 9 speed with sidestep, and just cause all kinds of mayhem with it. And for 80 points, it's just a crazy dial as a player, if you're going to face it, to try and get your mind around on how you're going to handle it. And as you said, Pedro, anything that causes your opponent to pause and think helps you out.
Yep.
Certainly does. All right.
Okay, now the father of all, the father of all many sons, which is a son himself, Odin, Asgardian deity, ruler, and warrior. He's Odin, the son of Borson. He's the wielder of Gungnir. Gungnir, or Gungnir, not to be confused with the style, but jokes aside. He's indestructible, equip any and equip drop. It's a light object for 10 points. And its effect is this character's attack rolls can't be rerolled. When this character is given an object action, it may use Gungnir as the held object. If you do, also modify attack +3, and the attack deals penetrating damage. This is still an object attack. So before we go any further, and Erks, correct me if I'm wrong, there's this whole discussions and everywhere regarding equip and held and destroyed or non-destroyed, saying indestructible. I think indestructible, unfortunately, is a misleading word. But the rule of thumb is unless stated otherwise, because cards trump rule, the general description of indestructible means that the object can only be destroyed if used in an object attack. It means your opponent cannot run and shoot it to prevent you from picking it up. It only can be destroyed if someone, either you or your opponent, picks it up and use it in an object attack as a plain object of the weight it has, and then it is destroyed, right? I mean, that's the consensus, and that's what we're rolling with, unless. Yep. So as well, Odin can be played at 230 points or at 150 points. He's the Allfather King of Asgard. He has the leadership as a trait, and other friendly characters with the Asgardian keyword modify their attack by +1. Also, he has a special defense power on his last click, which is stop, impervious, and super senses. And at the end of your turn, you can give Odin a sleep token. Free. Remove all sleep tokens to heal Odin a number of clicks equal to the number of tokens removed. It also has a damage power on his first 3 clicks of his higher points, and or only the first one of his lower points, which is the Royal Guards of Odin, which is very similar to the Namor POG generation power, which is power, generate a Crimson Hawk bystander, or double power, generate 2 Crimson Hawk bystander, and you may not have more than 5 Crimson Hawk bystanders on your force. The Crimson Hawk, it's a 0 range, 8 movement with charge, 9 attack, 16 defense with combat reflexes and not indomitable, and 2 damage with close combat expert. It's a decent guy. A pity that close combat expert does not combo with charge, because he could be a little bit more effective. He's not going to do much damage when he arrives, and he has to wait a full round until he attacks again, and then he attacks a little bit better. Of course, it doesn't say he has the Asgardian keyword, right? So it's probably not going to. Does he?
Asgardian keyword.
Where?
On the card in the middle. Look at the trait that the actual Crimson Hawk has. Crimson Hawk has the Asgardian.
Oh, has Asgardian keyword. Thank you very much. Yeah, then it gets a +1 attack, which makes a lot of sense. And then 8, 10, 2 for his arrival is pretty decent. And then he can do a 11, 3 later on, or any other combination. And his move, but not charge actions, they don't. When he moves only, it doesn't count against your action total. You start very strong. Very, attack strong, the whole dial, 10 on only 2 clicks, pulse wave in the end, penetrating with 4 damage. I think it's a cool figure. Generating pogs, it's always good, especially if you have a teleporter. Might be a nuisance in sealed. He's 150 points dial. Interesting, but I still prefer him at 230. But I think Erks has some experience with him, right? But all in all, cosmic power, always good.
Yeah, I've played this guy twice. I opened him in my release day seal, and I played him at full points, and he is a monster. Dude, this guy is great. If you guys are really looking for like a Namor-esque or a who's the other guy who's like this guy, Black Panther or
Yes.
Daredevil,
Right.
he's in that same ballpark. He's pumping out tokens. He's giving the leadership and the +1 overall attack to Asgardians with how many there are in the set. For 150 points, just to have him at that point value, that's not terrible. His weapon isn't the best, unfortunately, which I thought was kind of insane. Because Odin, I've seen the movies, and he zaps a lot of dudes with that big old staff. But it just does hurt. Overall, it's a good figure. He is kind of squishy, but the Odin sleep thing is gnarly with the impervious super senses. Because, protected pulse wave, protected outwit, and it's not a regen. He gets to fully sit there and just take a few turns to come back on everyone you want to wait for him to come back on, if the game permits. It's a time game, of course, guys. In casual, where you have no timer, this could be dumb.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that could be pretty strong. The Odin sleep. You really only need to heal him one click.
for that 12 pulse wave he's got sitting there, it's not terrible at
yeah.
all. No,
without wit, and then all they're gonna do is knock him right back onto that stop click again, and he gets that 2 rollouts.
Yeah,
That's pretty good right there.
And high defense.
And I'm gonna say this about his weapon. The one thing I like about his weapon is that ever so often you just need to hit. And this thing, if you decide to, you can do an object attack with it. And I think we went over it. You can throw an object. That can still be considered an object attack. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if you can imagine that, he can throw that and he can guarantee him a +3 on his attack, which if he really needs to hit, and then turns it into penetrating damage. Which is what you say it was, Pedro? Is it a light or heavy object?
Light. It's a +1 to close attack or 2 damage on the. Is it 2 or 1 damage on the throw?
2 damage to a light.
2 damage
for
on the
a
throw.
heavy.
Yeah.
So it's 2.
So I mean, sometimes you just need to hit an attack. So I don't know. It brings some interesting thoughts to it. At 230, one thing I like about it, 230, him generating pogs creates an army. Usually you struggle to put an army together at 230, but he can generate his own army, which is pretty neat.
Yep.
All right. Moving on.
I think it's me. And is this our last chase figure?
This is the last one.
And
take us home, Shay.
Hey, I'm going to take us home. And guess what? It is not part of the Wrecking Crew. It is not.
Exactly.
What happened here? Where's our Chase Wrecking Crew? Who would you put here?
But if you wanna an odd thing, the OP kit is the adamantium ball and chain.
Right.
That's true.
So kind of get us there, right? I mean,
Absorbing Man. That's it. Where is Absorbing Man? He would have went great here. But anyway, moving on. This is the actual figure I pulled out of my case. It's Valkyrie. She's 068. She has the Asgardian defenders. We have another defender, a deity, and a warrior. Her real name is Brunhild. She's wielder of Dragon Fang. That's one of her traits. That's her only trait. Valkyrie starts the game with S016 Dragon Fang equipped. And why don't you hit this object for us, Pedro?
Sure. Light object, 10 points, same qualities as the other. Its effect is Blade Claw Fangs, and when this character uses it, once per turn, you may re-roll the result.
Wow. So she has the ability to re-roll that result. And she also gets a special movement power. It is Rider of the Heavens. She gets the flight ability, the wing symbol. So that gives her the ability to carry sidestep. Valkyrie can carry characters that share a keyword with her. So she has a limited carry. So they have to share a keyword. You look at her dial, it's pretty okay. She starts with some good movement. She has some decent defense. Her attack's pretty good. Her damage is only 3, but she has an exploit weakness and empower. She has 2 point values. She does have the Mystics team ability. Her point values are 95 and 30. 30s are only last 2 clicks, and there's like 10, 11 attacks, 16 defense with combat reflexes, and 3 damage with exploit weakness. She has some flurry in there. What do y'all think about it? I think she's decent. She's a good filler piece. What do y'all think?
She has a lot of damage potential. The fact that she has blades on both point values the entire time and basically does a minimum of 2 damage, you can re-roll if you get that 2 or 1. That's really strong. I didn't realize her damage was that consistent the whole way through. And she's a defender, so we just got a whole set from Defenders War that could pair with her at both point values pretty well and carry her around and put her in position, and then she can just go ham.
Yeah, I see the destruction potential. She's Asgardian, 30 points. You give her Dragon Fang. Thor Odinson call her in for free. For sidestep, blades, penetrating blades with a reroll on the D6. This is old school potential for game changing piece. 30 points. You know, the rare swordsman from ADW, which is an amazing call in because it does something similar with 11 attack instead of 10. Her printed damage is still 3, so you know you have 2 chances of rolling better than a 2 on the D6. There's still 2 penetrating at the very least, and the Mystic Team ability. I think it's 30 points that is going to annoy you, at the very least annoy, and very likely hurt your opponent quite a bit. The 95 is quite okay for a 95-point piece. She can hold its own very nicely, and if ignored by your opponent, she'll definitely mistreat him. But I like it. I like her. She has potential. I like her more on the 30-point starting line, to be super honest, because the cost versus potential for destruction is super cool, but not a bad piece of 95 either.
Well, and a downside to her 30-point piece is that her being a chase makes it very hard to get multiples of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd like to have like 2 of her at 30 points. They'd be fun to run around with that Mystics and all that.
Or another girl that better Ray can carry, right? She's gonna have a decent protection from his weather manipulation, and then she's six move away from hurting anyone pretty bad. I still like her better with hoarding some, but it's not a bad date for better Ray build.
Yeah, we keep bringing up Thor Odinson with all these Asgardian pieces. Yeah. We love his teleport ability.
We obviously want this figure to work.
Yes. He has a built-in ID card mechanics for free for Asgardian. How cool is that?
That is awesome.
It's the Thorleporter.
Thor, I love that line.
Thorleporter.
Yeah, start using that in your blog posts. That'd be awesome.
You heard it here first. Give us credit.
Oh man, that's pretty awesome, guys. All right, well, that is going to bring us to a close on the super rare chase review for the Mighty Thor set. Holy cow, guys, what a set! I couldn't believe with this adventure, man. It was so great. Thank you guys so much at home. I have a couple things I want to ask you guys. Number one, do you guys want to hear us do a colossal review? If you do, let us know in the comments below. If we get enough people, I'm going to say if we get 10 people to drop a comment saying I want it, we'll do it. Okay?
Deal.
And then the last thing I have to ask you guys is, what was your favorite figure from this set? Common, uncommon, rare, chase? We forgot to ask you in other videos. We got so into it. But for now, if you guys watch the end of this video, what was your favorite and why? We love to hear you guys' comments, guys. They're fun to read. We appreciate them. Every like, comment, subscribe is the best thing. Check us out on Patreon, of course. If you guys want to be on our Patreon Cerebro show and or help the show anyway, every little bit helps, and you could be part of the reviews, part of the unboxings, whatever we do. It's all together. You're part of the community. We appreciate you guys. We're all in this together. This is our game, and no one can take it from us. With that said, guys, give them your heartfelt farewells, and we'll be out of here.
Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. Eric said it all. Please participate. Be part of it. It's only fun when you guys participate and we're able to engage with you. Also, if you want to comment on what's your preferred equipment on the set, I think it's also cool, or your preferred Colossal, let us know. Let us know how we can do better, how we can help each other. Eric is a is the greatest and give us a lot of room to help you guys out. So engage. We want to hear from you, and we're happy to do whatever we can to get you guys more into this game that we're so passionate about. Just want to thank you again, Erx, for the opportunity, and Shia for the great commentary. I had a major blast with the set, and even more doing this with you guys. So thank you very much.
Oh, I've got to echo that. I've just had an amazing time. It's been a lot of fun just sitting here talking about figures I love in this game I love with passion, and talking with two guys who are very knowledgeable and have a lot to share and just have as much passion as I has been awesome. And I love engaging the fans and getting them to kind of share what they think. So really comment below on what you think you like about this set, and we'd love to hear and read about it. So thanks again.